Picture this. It's 1954, the party's in full swing and the punch bowl's quietly spiked, but no one's admitting it. And right there at the center of the buffet are these little showstoppers, deviled eggs. Smooth, creamy, and with just the right tangy kick. Deviled eggs were the star of every mid-century gathering. And today, we're bringing that retro classic back. They're easy to make, dangerously good, and about to steal the spotlight all over again.
Welcome to Apaulo Diner.
Hello my friends and fellow Apollonians, welcome back to Apaulo Diner. I'm your host Apollo Jupiter, and today we're making a dish that stood the test of time, quite literally. Deviled eggs have been delighting guests since the days of ancient Rome, and by the 1950s they were the crown jewel of every buffet table. Back then it might have been for Caesar, but today we're making them for someone far more important, our guests. Let's get started! First things first, we need some perfectly boiled eggs. For that I use my 3-6-9 method. We start with 6 medium-sized eggs, and since we're deviling, we go in the full 9 minutes for the perfect hard-boiled egg. Now before they go in, you can optionally pierce the rounded end of each shell with a needle or egg pricker. It's an old school trick that helps prevent cracking and makes peeling a little easier later on. Once the water is gently boiling, in go the eggs like a first-class ticket to greatness. After the 9-minute swim, we chill them down in an ice bath. The kind of cool shock that stops the cooking and makes peeling feel like opening a well-wrapped gift. Now if you're curious about the softer stages, the jammy 6-minute or the delicate 3-minute, I've got a whole video just on eggs where you can dive deeper. But today it's all about hard-boiled perfection. Now back in the day, folks often started with cold water and brought it slowly to a boil. A method with plenty of history, but this one keeps things consistent. No gray rings, no rubbery whites, just bright sunny yolks, ready to hit the spotlight. Once your eggs are chilled and ready, it's time to peel. A little crack on the counter and a gentle roll under your palm works wonders. Start at the wider end, that's where the air pocket hides. And if you're lucky, you might even get the shell off in one smooth piece. And when they peel clean, that's when you know today's going your way. Slice each egg cleanly in half, lengthwise. Show off those golden centers. Then we gently pop the yolks into a bowl. Just a little squeeze and out they come like golden divas making their exit. Keep the whites neat and smooth. They'll become our serving vessels, like edible tuxedo jackets just waiting to be filled. Now let's give the yolks a light mash with a fork to get things started. And we're ready to mix in the magic. Now that our yolks are nicely mashed, it's time to bring in the flavor. We start with 3 tablespoons or 45 grams of mayonnaise. A nice full-fat vintage mayonnaise like the one we already did together a few episodes ago. Then 1.5 teaspoons or 7.5 grams of mustard. Something mild and tangy, not too spicy works beautiful here. And 1.5 teaspoons or 7.5 milliliters of white vinegar. That was the classic back then, but you could even double down on the retro charm by using some sweet pickle brine instead. Your choice. Next up, 1.5 teaspoons or 7.5 grams of finely diced sweet pickle relish. That one's optional, but a wonderful flavor boost, so highly recommended. Of course, this one's homemade, using the sweet pickle relish recipe from one of my videos right here on the channel. Then a 1/4 teaspoon or 1.5 grams of salt, a small pinch of sugar, and to be really authentic, a dash of white pepper for some extra spice. If you've been following along on this channel, you might recognize a few of these ingredients from my mayo, mustard, and relish episodes. It's like a little reunion in a mixing bowl. So if you want to know how to make all of them yourself in a real authentic vintage style, feel free to check these little gems out. Now we'll give it all a good stir until it's smooth, creamy, and with just the right balance of zippy and rich. Sneak a taste if you like, but don't say I didn't warn you if the bowl's suddenly completely empty. Adjust the seasoning to your taste, and once the flavor's spot on, we're ready to give our egg whites a glamorous 1950s style refill. They've been waiting on standby like polite little party guests. Time to give them something to talk about. Now comes the fun part, filling the eggs. You can use a spoon for a simple rustic look, or grab a piping bag with a star tip if you're in the mood for a little showmanship. Either way, aim for a generous dollop each white, smooth and creamy, just peeking above the edge like a little edible crown. Then comes that classic finishing touch, a light dusting of paprika. Not too much, just enough to give them that warm sunset glow. Now let them chill in the fridge for at least 30 minutes. That short rest gives the flavors time to mingle and the filling the chance to firm up. When it's time to serve, keep it classic. A simple platter, maybe a bed of crisp lettuce, and those deviled beauties lined up like it's 1955 and the neighbors on their way. Add a little garnish of fresh parsley if you like. It's a small touch, but it really brings the whole look together. They're right at home at a sunny brunch, a backyard picnic, or a good old-fashioned potluck. The kind where folks smile the second they spot your dish. There's just something about them, tidy, cheerful, delicious, and full of character that makes any table feel like a celebration. And there you have it, the classic deviled egg, right back in the spotlight where it belongs. Creamy, tangy, nostalgic, and delicious. Let's be honest, so good, they never last long once they hit the table. If you enjoyed this bite of vintage goodness, please be sure to like, subscribe for more, and share it with a fellow retro soul. Got your own twist on deviled eggs? Tell me in the comments, I'd love to hear about it. And don't miss this amazing vintage favorite right here. Thank you so much for spending time with me here today, my dear friends and fellow Apaulians. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video.